Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Mid Atlantic Championship Wrestling Review Series. This is the July 30th, 1983 edition. They open with a match already in progress, and that match is Rotundo and Jerry Gray. Golden Boy Gray is how he's known here. Jerry Gray, one of the most inspirational individuals ever in wrestling, just because he's battled with cancer and so many other maladies over the last several years. Worth supporting him on GoFundMe or whatever if you enjoy his stuff. Anyway, great traditionalized classic wrestling match. Front face lock, fireman's carry takeovers, and the like by Rotundo. Rotundo certainly has dropped in importance over where he was challenging Funk just a few months earlier, and he rolls around with some side headlock stuff, basic stuff, and super basics there. But then we see the airplane spin and follow up by Rotundo. Rotundo then manages to get things going, and ultimately, kind of we see that go forward there. Rotundo winning with an airplane spin certainly wouldn't last today, but different time in 1983 by far. Then we go to the next in the series of matches, kind of highlights of the Briscoe brothers doing damage to others. Steamboat and Youngblood run down and run in, and we see them kind of interfering and continuing to finally go at it with, in fact, the Briscoes. Jay Youngblood ends up getting kind of caught. Ricky Steamboat and both members of the Briscoes go at it for a little while. Decent match here, worth going out of your way to see if you've never seen this highlight clip before, just on the basis of the building of tag team wrestling and kind of the all four brawl around by Steamboat and Youngblood. Lots of basic stuff. Steamboat wriggles free. Obviously, the Briscoes are full blown heels at this point. Not that they hadn't been for a couple of months, but certainly it's most evident here. We kind of see several kind of go behinds and go arounds there, and ultimately some back chops and basic things along the way. We then see Steamboat managing to hit a couple of times off, and there you see some slides and to go behinds and other basic things. 2 count and come up there, ultimately getting things kind of around, and a couple of kicks, basic maneuvers along the way there, and attempted atomic drops and other basics, go behinds into almost a modified Indian deathlock, STF roll through by Youngblood. There is a top rope knee drop right on the arm and shoulder of Youngblood, who gets injured. We see the injury angle there. Obviously, the match is stopped for that very reason, but the injury is the big part of that contest. It's referred to over the next several weeks. Then we see Greg Valentine, once again your U.S. champion, and he is taking on a very young Bret Hart. Definitely a much different Bret Hart than we would see even a year or two later in the WWF, just in terms of how much selling he's doing for Valentine. Valentine being in the primary position or the lead position there is just interesting. Bret Hart also looking significantly different here in 1983 than he looks even a couple of years later. Valentine goes to work on the arm, stays on the arm pretty consistently, tries to cinch up on it, doesn't get everything he wants, but gets enough, and then we kind of see things going in a, I guess you'd say, a positive direction. Valentine there hits a back suplex, modified, and Hart tries to fight his way out. Good enhancement talent match. Valentine hits the hammer smash and gets a victory. Gary Hart talks about how managers aren't being respected. Also talks about how the great Kabuki is going to be his guy. Talks about Jimmy Valiant trying to run out managers, which is something he talks about over the next several weeks. Kabuki comes into the ring, and Great Kabuki is still your television champion, although he never seems to defend the championship. Anyway, Great Kabuki and Keith Larson, pretty basic. you know, martial arts shots, punches, kicks, chops, palm strikes, and the like by Kabuki. Kabuki managed, of course, by Gary Hart, and Hart stays on the outside giving him instructions. Kabuki hits some spin kicks and basic maneuvers as well, and Gary Hart gets the victory there. Rufus R. Jones promises to defeat Dory Funk Jr. for the Mid Atlantic Championship, also promises to defeat everyone from Dick Slater to Jake Roberts, even saying that he's going to take them on one. Then the promo that we all know and love, Harley Race, cuts an amazing promo. If you've never seen this before, he offers $25,000 to anybody to take the uh, bounty from Ric Flair. Basically, put Flair out of wrestling. He doesn't want to defend the championship against Flair again. Calls out Race and or Slater and even the Briscoes and various other people. Amazing promo, worth going out of your way to see. Then we go to Bob Orton Jr. and Joel Deaton. Orton Jr., who had been a babyface to this point, manages to turn himself over the next couple of weeks around the bounty, which we'll get to a little bit. Joel Deaton, basic match. Orton, so smooth, so just organized, for lack of a better term, in the ring. Orton then hits a couple of splashes. Deaton gets a body slam, but then we see Orton come out the back door and get victories there. Ric Flair cuts a promo after Orton gets his victory. Flair and Steamboat. Steamboat is worried about his tag partner, as one would expect. Flair basically says he's going to be the one to take out Race, and everybody knows it, and also pledges support and fidelity to Ricky Steamboat going forward. Then we see the Rufus R. Jones and Dory Funk Jr. match. Better than expected because Funk puts him in the right places. Hammerlocks, wrist locks, arm bars, and the like. The $100,000, there is interference from Jimmy Valiant. There's interference from others as well. Funk gets rolled up and does get defeated by the wonder that is Rufus R. Jones, but gets nailed in a schmoz, and after that, the $100,000 challenge, which had been ordained by Jones, is not supported going forward there. Then the Assassins promise to bring havoc to any tag team that is there, but the big win for Rufus R. Jones is the central focus of the end of the program. We will be back with more right after this.